Dr. Juniper Rhodes stood before the Centaurian Alliance Council, her heart racing beneath her carefully pressed diplomatic uniform. The massive crystal dome of the Galactic Assembly on Europa Station stretched above her, its transparent panels revealing the swirling storms of Jupiter beyond. Around her, representatives from 200 alien civilizations sat in rising tiers, their varied physiologies a testament to the diversity of life in the galaxy. Distinguished members of the Alliance, she began, her voice steady despite the pressure. Earth thanks you for this opportunity to present our case for membership. The holographic displays around her illuminated with images of human achievements, sustainable fusion reactors, restoration of Earth's ecosystems, the first Mars colonies. A dismissive clicking sound echoed through the chamber. Grand Arbiter KZYK, their crystalline form shimmering with patterns of blue bioluminescence, leaned forward from their elevated position. Dr. Rhodes, while these achievements are quaint, they represent nothing we haven't seen from 1,000 other developing civilizations, some of whom, I might add, achieved these milestones millennia ago. Juniper felt her jaw tighten but maintained her diplomatic composure. She'd expected resistance, but the patronizing tone still stung. Behind her, her assistant Marcus Thorne shifted uncomfortably, his dark fingers dancing across his datapad as he prepared their next presentation materials. With respect, Grand Arbiter, Juniper countered, Earth's strength lies not in being first, but in our unique approach to problems. Our species has survived and thrived through adaptation and innovation. Innovation? Interrupted Delegate VX Thal, their tentacles writhing in what Juniper's xenocultural training identified as amusement. Your species still relies on biological evolution. You haven't even begun basic genetic engineering of your population. The Regellian Confederacy was redesigning their citizens for optimal space travel when your ancestors were still learning to make fire. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the assembly. Juniper noticed several delegates activating their neural interfaces, probably already dismissing Earth's application without hearing the full presentation. She needed to change tactics, fast. True, we haven't modified ourselves, she acknowledged, but that choice has led to unexpected advantages. Our unmodified biology has forced us to develop technological solutions that... Enough! Grand Arbiter KZYK's voice resonated through the chamber, their crystalline surface now pulsing with red patterns. Dr. Rhodes, let us be direct. Your species is barely out of its cradle. You haven't survived a single extinction-level event without massive casualties. You have no natural defenses, no significant biological advantages, and your technological development is centuries behind the Alliance standard. Juniper felt Marcus step forward, probably about to object, but she raised a hand to stop him. This was the moment she'd been preparing for. Then test us, she said, her voice cutting through the murmurs of the assembly. The chamber fell silent. Grand Arbiter KZYK's surface rippled with patterns of curious yellow. Explain. You say we have no advantages? No meaningful defenses? Then let us prove otherwise. The Alliance has testing grounds for new species capabilities. Let Earth demonstrate its worth through action rather than words. The crystalline being's surface swirled with complex patterns. You propose a challenge of worth? You understand this is binding? If Earth fails such a challenge, you cannot reapply for Alliance membership for 100 of your years. We understand, Juniper replied, ignoring Marcus's sharp intake of breath behind her. And we accept. The chamber erupted in a cacophony of sounds, clicks, whistles, electromagnetic pulses, and a dozen other forms of alien communication. Grand Arbiter KZYK raised their upper facets for silence. Very well. The Alliance accepts your proposal. In 3 days, Earth will face the challenge of worth. You may select one representative species from your planet to demonstrate your world's capabilities. It will be matched against a challenge of our choosing. Juniper bowed slightly, her heart pounding with equal parts terror and excitement. Thank you, Grand Arbiter. Earth accepts these terms. As she and Marcus left the chamber, he finally exploded in a harsh whisper. Have you lost your mind? Do you know what they'll put us up against? Their bioengineered creatures are legendary. Juniper smiled, pulling out her personal datapad, and bringing up a file she'd prepared months ago, just in case. Marcus, they're expecting us to bring something big, something obviously dangerous. A great white shark maybe, or a Siberian tiger. But I've got something better in mind. What could possibly? He stopped as she showed him the file, his eyes widening. You can't be serious. Dead serious. While they're all focused on size and obvious weapons, they're missing what really makes Earth's life special: adaptability, intelligence, and the absolute refusal to give up. She grinned. Call Dr. Patel at the Pacific Research Center. Tell her Operation Tentacle is a go. Behind them, the massive doors of the Alliance chamber closed with a resonant boom, while Jupiter's eternal storms cast ever-changing shadows through the crystal dome. In 3 days, Earth would either gain its place among the stars or lose its chance for a century. But Juniper knew something the Alliance didn't. Sometimes the most powerful forces in nature came in the most unexpected packages. Commander Olivia Winters stood before the massive aquarium tank in the Pacific Research Center's secure facility, watching their champion exploring its new environment. The giant Pacific octopus, dubbed Darwin by Dr. Patel's team, moved with fluid grace through the specially designed training course, its chromatophores shifting through patterns of brown and red as it investigated a new puzzle box. Remarkable, isn't it? Dr. Nadia Patel emerged from her office, her silver-streaked hair pulled back in a tight bun. 8 months of training, and he's still surprising us with new problem-solving techniques. Olivia nodded, pressing her hand against the cool glass. But will it be enough? The Alliance's combat creatures are specifically engineered for warfare. Darwin is just natural. Just natural? Nadia laughed, pulling up a holographic display of Darwin's latest test results. That's exactly what makes him perfect. Look at these cognitive flexibility scores. He can solve problems he's never encountered before, adapt to changing situations instantly, and use tools in ways we never taught him. The door slid open with a soft hiss as Marcus Thorne rushed in, his dark face flushed with exertion. We've got trouble. The betting odds just posted on the Galactic networks. The Arcturus Syndicate is offering 500 to 1 against Earth's victory. Let them bet, Nadia said calmly, watching as Darwin successfully extracted a crab from an increasingly complex series of interlocked boxes. They're all expecting us to bring some massive predator. A great white shark, maybe, or some heavily armored creature. Their assumptions are our advantage. Olivia wasn't so sure. She'd spent the last 5 years as Earth's military liaison to the Alliance, and she'd seen what their bioengineered warriors could do. What about the temperature differential? The oxygen content? We don't even know what environment they'll choose for the arena. That's why we've been training him in variable conditions, Nadia replied, bringing up another set of data. Darwin can handle temperature swings from near freezing to tropical. We've tested him in different salinities, pressures, even modified atmospheric compositions. Octopi are naturally adaptive. We just helped him expand those capabilities. Marcus stepped closer to the tank, watching as Darwin changed color to perfectly match the rocky background. Dr. Rhodes's report from the diplomatic quarter isn't encouraging. The Centaurian Alliance is already celebrating their expected victory. They're calling this the humbling of Earth. Perfect. Nadia's dark eyes sparkled. The more they underestimate us, the better. Did you know that octopi have been documented escaping their tanks, finding food in other rooms, and returning without anyone noticing? They can squeeze through any opening larger than their beak, which is about the size of a quarter. They have 9 brains, 1 central brain, and 8 in their arms. Each arm can problem-solve independently. As if to demonstrate, Darwin was now working on 3 puzzle boxes simultaneously, using different arms for each while his other limbs anchored him in place. His skin rippled with patterns that Olivia had learned to recognize as excitement. The Alliance representatives are requesting details about our champion, Marcus said, checking his datapad. They need to prepare the appropriate safety measures and containment protocols. Nadia grinned. Tell them it's approximately 1 meter in length and weighs about 50 kilograms. They'll be expecting something much larger. Oh, and mention it has no external armor or natural weapons. Are you trying to make them overconfident? Olivia asked. Absolutely. The more they underestimate us, the less they'll prepare for Darwin's actual capabilities. A soft chime indicated an incoming transmission. The holographic display shifted to show Dr. Juniper Rhodes, looking tense but determined. The Alliance just announced their champion. They're calling it the Hydra-X. It's some kind of bioengineered aquatic weapon platform, specifically designed for underwater combat. The display filled with images of a creature that seemed to be made of living metal and synthetic muscle. Multiple serpentine heads extended from a central body bristling with artificial weaponry. Olivia felt her heart sink. Perfect, Nadia said again, surprising everyone. Look at all that technology, all that engineering. You know what that means. It's predictable. It can only do what it was designed to do. Darwin, on the other hand. She gestured to the tank, where the octopus had not only solved all three puzzle boxes but had also rearranged them into a makeshift shelter. Darwin can improvise. The transport to the arena station leaves in 6 hours, Marcus reported. We need to start prep for suspended animation transit. Nadia nodded, already moving to the preparation area. Commander Winters, would you like to assist? You should understand exactly what our champion is capable of. As Olivia helped with the preparation procedures, she watched Darwin continuing to explore and experiment with his environment. Despite her concerns, she felt a growing sense of hope. The Alliance was expecting Earth to play by their rules, to measure success by their standards. But perhaps Earth's greatest strength was its ability to change the game entirely. By the way, Nadia mentioned casually as they worked, I haven't told you Darwin's favorite food yet. She paused for effect. He particularly enjoys jellyfish. Olivia looked at the images of the Hydra-X again, noting its translucent, jellyfish-like qualities, and finally allowed herself to smile. Maybe, just maybe, Earth's primitive evolution had produced exactly what they needed to win. Above them, Darwin changed colors one final time, matching the metallic sheen of the preparation equipment perfectly. In less than 24 hours, he would face humanity's greatest challenge yet. The galaxy was about to learn that sometimes the most powerful weapons weren't weapons at all, but rather the product of millions of years of evolutionary problem-solving. And Darwin? He just continued exploring his tank, unaware that the fate of human galactic diplomacy rested in his 8 capable arms. The combat arena aboard Europa Station was a massive spherical aquarium, its transparent walls 3 meters thick and rated to withstand the pressure of deep ocean trenches. Spectators from hundreds of worlds filled the observation rings that spiraled around the sphere, their varied environmental suits and containment pods creating a rainbow of artificial atmospheres. Dr. Juniper Rhodes stood at the primary observation window, flanked by Commander Winters and Dr. Patel. Below them, Darwin's transport pod hung suspended in the crystal-clear water, while opposite them, the Hydra-XS containment unit pulsed with ominous bioluminescence. Final environmental parameters are being set, Marcus announced from his station at the monitoring console. Water temperature stabilizing at 15 degrees Celsius, salinity matching Earth's Pacific Ocean, pressure at 3 atmospheres. Grand Arbiter KZYK's crystalline form shimmered as they addressed the assembled dignitaries. The challenge of worth will now commence. Earth's representative species will face the Hydra-X in single combat. Victory is achieved through submission or incapacitation. Should Earth's champion prevail, their application for Alliance membership will proceed to final consideration. The Hydra-XS containment unit opened first, releasing a creature that seemed to be equal parts biological horror and technological marvel. Its central mass, roughly the size of a small car, bristled with cybernetic enhancements. 5 serpentine heads, each equipped with different weapon systems, swayed in the water. Its skin alternated between transparency and metallic plates, while pulses of energy rippled through its artificial nervous system. Impressive, isn't it? A voice dripping with smug satisfaction came from behind them. Admiral Vex of the Arcturus Syndicate approached, his exoskeleton clicking softly. The Hydra-X represents the pinnacle of combat bioengineering. Each head is equipped with different weapon systems, sonic pulses, electrical discharge, paralytic toxins, thermal lances, and quantum entanglement fields. Juniper kept her expression neutral. Fascinating. Though sometimes the simplest solutions are the most effective. Darwin's transport pod opened, and for a moment, nothing seemed to happen. The assembled aliens leaned forward, many activating enhanced viewing apparatus. Then a small, brownish shape emerged, its movements so smooth it seemed to flow through the water. Silence fell over the observation ring, followed by a wave of what various translator systems interpreted as laughter, disbelief, and derision. "That's your champion?" Admiral Vex's translator barely managed to convey his incredulity. "A primitive cephalopod?" The Hydra XS heads all turned toward Darwin, weapon systems charging with visible energy. The octopus, for his part, seemed more interested in exploring a nearby section of decorative coral. "Begin," Grand Arbiter KZYK announced. The Hydra X struck with devastating speed, all 5 heads attacking simultaneously. Sonic pulses distorted the water, electrical charges crackled, and paralytic toxins began to disperse in a deadly cloud. Darwin vanished. Not metaphorically. He literally disappeared, his chromatophores matching the background so perfectly that even the enhanced visual systems of the alien observers couldn't track him. The Hydra XS heads whipped around in confusion, its targeting systems searching for a trace of its opponent. "Remarkable adaptive camouflage," murmured a Rigelian scientist, their cybernetic eyes whirring as they adjusted through different spectrums. The first sign of Darwin's counterattack came when one of the Hydra XS heads suddenly jerked sideways. The octopus had materialized briefly, just long enough to manipulate the targeting array of the sonic pulse emitter. The head fired, but its attack hit one of its fellow heads instead, shorting out the electrical discharge system. "Impossible," Admiral Vex hissed. "It's using our own weapons against us?" Dr. Patel smiled. "Tool use is one of the hallmarks of cephalopod intelligence. Darwin's just treating your weapon systems like another puzzle box." The battle continued in a display that defied all alien expectations. Darwin would appear and disappear, each time manipulating the Hydra XS systems in increasingly creative ways. He squeezed through impossibly small gaps in the creature's armor, used pieces of coral as wedges to jam weapon ports, and even managed to tangle 3 of the heads together. The Hydra XS movements became increasingly erratic as its carefully programmed combat protocols failed to account for an opponent that simply refused to fight in any expected way. Its quantum entanglement field meant to trap and disorient enemies was turned into an impromptu shelter by Darwin, who used it to launch surprise attacks from multiple angles. "Notice how he's using all 8 arms independently," Dr. Patel commented, as if she were giving a routine laboratory demonstration. Each one problem-solving, manipulating, and adapting to different challenges simultaneously. The killing blow came not through violence, but through sheer ingenuity. Darwin managed to access a maintenance panel, a vulnerability no one had considered because it required both problem-solving intelligence and extreme flexibility to reach. With a few precise manipulations, he activated the Hydra XS emergency shutdown sequence. The massive bioweapon froze, its heads drooping as emergency protocols forced it into a protective shutdown to prevent catastrophic system failure. Darwin, apparently celebrating his victory, changed color rapidly through a series of bright patterns before settling into a satisfied purplish red. Silence filled the observation ring. Grand Arbiter KZYK's crystalline surface swirled with patterns that their species used to indicate deep thought. "The victory," they announced finally, "goes to Earth's champion." Dr. Rhodes turned to Admiral Vex, whose exoskeleton had lost its previous confident sheen. "You know what the truly remarkable thing is? Darwin isn't even our most intelligent cephalopod species. He's just the one who enjoyed the training exercises the most." As Darwin was retrieved and the stunned alien dignitaries began filing out, Dr. Patel's datapad chimed with an update from the Pacific Research Center. She laughed softly. "What is it?" Commander Winters asked. The other octopi back at the lab just figured out how to open their new enrichment toys. Apparently, they didn't need 3 months of training like we thought. They were just waiting until we weren't watching to do it their own way. Above them, Jupiter's storms continued their eternal dance, indifferent to the fact that humanity's place in the galaxy had just been secured not by force or advanced technology, but by the pure, unfiltered product of Earth's evolution. A creature that had never needed to be engineered because it had already perfected the art of adaptation on its own. The diplomatic quarter of Europa Station hummed with an energy that hadn't been present before Darwin's victory. Dr. Juniper Rhodes sat in what had previously been a nearly empty Earth office, now crowded with holographic projections of alien dignitaries requesting meetings, trade negotiations, and cultural exchange programs. The Regellian Science Council has offered us access to their xenobiology archives, Marcus reported, sorting through the flood of diplomatic communiques. And the Proxima Centauri Federation wants to establish a joint research initiative focusing on Earth's marine ecosystems. Juniper nodded, watching as Darwin explored his new habitat in the station's biological research wing. The octopus had become something of a celebrity, with alien scientists and diplomats constantly requesting observation time. What about the Arcturus Syndicate? Any word from Admiral Vex? Actually, yes. Marcus pulled up a particular message, his expression caught between amusement and disbelief. They're offering to buy Darwin. Buy him. Commander Winters had just entered, carrying reports from Earth's newly established Alliance Integration Committee. For what purpose? They want to study him, a new voice answered. Director Zhao Chun of the Alliance Xenoscience Division stepped into the office, his formal robes bearing the distinctive iridescent patterns that marked his recent elevation to full Alliance membership status. More specifically, they want to understand how a supposedly primitive species could defeat their most advanced combat bioengineering. Juniper smiled. I assume you explained that Darwin isn't for sale? Of course. Director Zhao settled into one of the chairs, his weathered face serious. But their request highlights a larger issue we need to discuss. Earth's approach to biological advancement has challenged certain fundamental assumptions within the Alliance. Dr. Nadia Patel joined them, bringing up a holographic display of recent Alliance scientific discussions. They're calling it the natural evolution paradigm. Apparently, our reliance on unmodified Earth species has forced them to reconsider their entire approach to biological development. The display showed debates raging across hundreds of worlds. Some Alliance members argued for a return to studying natural evolution, while others defended their engineered approach. The Hydra XS defeat had sparked a philosophical crisis about the nature of true advancement. The Centaurian philosophers are particularly interested, Marcus added. They're suggesting that Earth's evolutionary processes might represent a form of distributed intelligence, millions of years of problem-solving spread across countless species. Commander Winters leaned against the wall, her military training making her wary of too much optimism. Not everyone's happy about this, though. I've detected increased security probes around Earth's solar system. Some factions see us as a threat to their technological supremacy. Of course they do, Director Zhao said calmly. We've demonstrated that their entire approach to advancement might be fundamentally flawed. The Arcturus Syndicate has spent millennia believing that engineered perfection was the only path forward. Darwin proved that natural adaptation might be more powerful than their most advanced designs. A soft chime announced another visitor. Grand Arbiter KZYK's crystalline form filled the doorway, their surface patterns indicating formal authority. Dr. Rhodes, your presence is requested at the Alliance High Council. We are preparing to vote on Earth's full membership status. Juniper stood, straightening her diplomatic uniform. Already? I thought the process would take months. Recent events have accelerated the timeline. KZYK's pattern shifted to what Juniper had learned to recognize as thoughtful uncertainty. There is much debate about Earth's potential contribution to the Alliance. Many believe we have been too focused on technological advancement at the expense of understanding natural development. As they walked to the council chamber, Juniper noticed a marked difference in how other species regarded her. Where before there had been dismissal or condescension, now there was curiosity and, in some cases, a hint of concern. You should know, KZYK continued, their crystalline surface rippling, that several council members have proposed establishing Earth as the headquarters for a new division of the Alliance, one focused on studying alternative paths to advancement. Alternative paths? Ways of progress that don't rely solely on engineering and artificial enhancement. The ability to adapt, to solve problems creatively, to work with natural processes rather than trying to control them entirely. KZYK paused. Some find these ideas threatening. They reached the council chamber, its massive doors now bearing a newly added Earth insignia alongside the other member species. Before entering, KZYK turned to Juniper. Dr. Rhodes, when you first presented Earth's case for membership, we saw only what we expected to see. A young species taking its first steps into the galactic community. We failed to recognize that sometimes the greatest wisdom comes from choosing not to artificially accelerate evolution. Inside the chamber, hundreds of alien representatives waited. But where before they had looked down on Earth's delegation with disdain, now they watched with attention and respect. Darwin's victory had done more than win a contest. It had challenged the very foundations of how the Alliance viewed progress. Your octopus, KZYK said as they took their positions, demonstrated something we had forgotten in our rush to engineer perfection, that nature, given time and the right conditions, can solve problems in ways we never imagined. The question now is, what other wisdom might Earth's primitive species have to teach us? The council session began, and Juniper realized that humanity's position in the galaxy would be very different from what anyone had expected. They hadn't earned their place through superior technology or military might, but by demonstrating that sometimes the most advanced solution was to work with nature rather than trying to improve upon it. In the research wing, Darwin continued his explorations, unaware that he had not only secured Earth's future among the stars but had also sparked a philosophical revolution that would reshape galactic civilization. The octopus had simply done what his species had been doing for millions of years, adapting, solving problems, and surviving in ways that defied expectation. 1 year after Darwin's historic victory, the newly constructed Earth Biological Research Center floated in high orbit around Jupiter, its massive biodomes containing carefully recreated ecosystems from Earth's oceans, rainforests, and deserts. Dr. Juniper Rhodes stood in the central observation deck, watching alien scientists from across the galaxy studying Earth species with an intensity that still amazed her. The Andromeda Institute's latest findings just came in, Professor Kira Yoshida announced, entering the deck with a holographic display hovering before her. The former marine biologist had become Earth's lead liaison for interspecies research initiatives. They've confirmed that coral reef systems demonstrate computational patterns similar to quantum networks. Apparently, we've had living quantum computers all along. Any word from the deep-sea expedition? Juniper asked, turning from the window. Better than word. Kira's eyes sparkled with excitement. They're back. And Dr. Patel says you're going to want to see this personally. The Deep-Sea Research Lab occupied an entire section of the station, designed to maintain the crushing pressures and unique chemical compositions of Earth's ocean trenches. Dr. Nadia Patel stood before a massive observation window, accompanied by a delegation of alien scientists whose environmental suits glowed in the dim light. Watch this, Nadia said as Juniper and Kira entered. In the artificial trench behind the window, a group of giant isopods, creatures that looked like enormous prehistoric wood lice, were arranged around what appeared to be a naturally occurring thermal vent. We've discovered they used the temperature differentials to perform complex calculations, a Rigelian scientist explained, their cybernetic eyes whirring as they took readings. They're essentially using heat gradients as a biological analog computer. The implications for thermal computing are revolutionary. Commander Winters joined them, now wearing the formal uniform of Earth's new Xenobiological Defense Initiative. The military applications are causing quite a stir. The Arcturus Syndicate is particularly interested in how these creatures handle pressure differentials that would crush their most advanced submarines. That's not why we're all here, though, Nadia said, touching a control panel. Another section of the artificial trench illuminated, revealing a sight that made even the alien scientists' environment suits ripple with excitement. A group of Dumbo octopi, their ear-like fins gently pulsing, appeared to be manipulating patterns of bioluminescent bacteria. As they watched, the patterns shifted and changed in complex sequences. They're communicating, Nadia explained. Not just with each other, but with the bacterial colonies. We're witnessing coordinated behavior between species that evolved independently, using light as a shared language. The Alliance Council is calling it natural network theory. Marcus Thorne added, having quietly joined the group. His role had expanded from diplomatic assistant to Earth's chief xenocultural advisor. The idea that different species can develop sophisticated cooperation without genetic engineering or technological intervention. Juniper smiled, remembering how the Alliance had initially dismissed Earth's primitive approach to biological development. Now, their most prestigious scientific institutions were scrambling to study Earth's unmodified species, finding new marvels almost daily. Ambassador Rhodes? A junior aide appeared at her elbow. The Alliance High Council's emergency session is about to begin. They're expecting your presentation on the Galapagos Protocols. The Galapagos Protocols, Earth's proposed guidelines for preserving and studying natural evolution throughout the galaxy, represented a fundamental shift in how spacefaring civilizations approached biological development. Already, hundreds of worlds had begun establishing protected evolution zones, allowing nature to find solutions that engineering might have overlooked. As Juniper prepared to leave, she stopped by Darwin's special habitat. The octopus who had changed humanity's galactic future was entertaining a group of young aliens, changing colors and shapes in what appeared to be an impromptu performance. Among his audience was a crystalline being that Juniper recognized as Grand Arbiter Kezawaike's own offspring. You know what the most remarkable thing is? Director Zhao Chun had appeared beside her, watching the scene with thoughtful eyes. A year ago, most of these species wouldn't have even acknowledged each other's presence, let alone gathered together to watch an unmodified Earth creature perform. Darwin's always had a talent for bringing people together, Juniper replied. Even if he doesn't know it. Perhaps that's the greatest lesson Earth has taught us, Zhao mused. That sometimes the most profound changes come not from careful engineering or grand designs, but from simply allowing natural wisdom to express itself. The station's massive windows framed Jupiter's swirling storms, now familiar to the thousands of alien researchers who had made the Earth Biological Research Center their home. But beyond the gas giant, new ships arrived daily, carrying scientists and diplomats from across the galaxy, all eager to learn from what they had once dismissed as a primitive world. In her office, preparing for the council session, Juniper found a message from Dr. Patel. Darwin's got competition. The cuttlefish just figured out how to operate the environmental controls in their habitat. Might need to upgrade our security protocols again. Juniper laughed, remembering how the Alliance had once feared Earth's potential for violence. Instead, humanity had shown them something far more powerful, the endless creativity of natural evolution, the wisdom of ages encoded in every living thing. And the simple truth that sometimes the best way forward was to learn from what already existed. As she headed to the council chamber, Juniper passed the station's new motto, written in hundreds of alien languages, progress through understanding. Below it, someone had added a smaller line that never failed to make her smile. Nature got there first. The future that awaited humanity among the stars would not be one of technological domination or engineered perfection, but something far more interesting. A future where the greatest adventures would come from discovering what the universe's countless forms of life could teach them, if they only knew how to listen and learn. In his habitat, Darwin changed colors one final time, matching the exact pattern of Jupiter's great red spot visible through the window. proving once again that sometimes the most advanced technology in the universe was the kind that had evolved naturally over millions of years, patiently solving problems in ways that no engineer could have imagined.